Hey, muy buenas noches, everyone. I hope everybody's doing well, blessed, and enjoying family. And as always, muchísimas gracias to all for your guys' words, prayers, and for everything you express and send my way. From the corazón, gracias. Now, to get into the story on him, tonight I want to touch and continue on with my story. I know a lot of you have noticed that I've been tiptoeing or hesitating to keep touching on my story because this part of my story is just to make it real clear, it ain't nothing I'm proud of. I did. And I ain't in no way, shape, or form glorifying what I did, nor am I trying to pat myself in the back for this. Charles, it's the complete opposite. You know, I want to be honest with everybody, and I want everybody to really get what everybody says and that what I put on here. When I say I understand the loyalty there, the love for the program, the fooling oneself on how to keep pushing in that program, how I understand it. You see, I was an idiot that was willing to go on and beyond to follow through, right? I was an idiot when it came to making sense of things, of being impulsive, of knowing how things were wrong and, you know, playing tricks on myself. And not even that, man. It was just the program had to get done, right? It's where my mind was set. And please do understand that, the first time I put it out, I got in real detail on it and I want to touch on it to the point that it makes sense. But, for respect of the family that I think I done enough, I'm just not going to go through the whole detailed thing again, right? I hope you guys understand why. And again, this is just to continue on with my story. And, do know I respect all those that hear it, and think of me as what I am or was, right? Or however you want to think of it. Again, I'm carrying my cross and I ain't sidestepping from what I did, right? But anyways, as I had mentioned to you guys before, when I ran up in the bulldog cell and I stabbed him, they took me out to court. And in the time I was going out to court, my lawyer came up and told me about a deal they were offering me, right? And due to the perro chato wasn't speaking, right? He was he manned up. So all they had at me in reality was the piece that I couldn't flush, right? So me being an idiot, right? I told the lawyer, right? Nah, fight it as long as you can. I like these little rides getting out of the shoe. So it went like that court date. The next time we went out there, he basically explained to me how how he had caught a violation in my sentencing. That my sentence, yeah, it was 2 life sentence, but I was supposed to serve one as a juvenile, right? And then serve one as an adult without. But you see, in this case, I never went to YA. They shot me straight to Quilmas, to CDC. So he believed I had actions to get what ended up happening, which was the technicality under the violation, right? And anyways, this played out later, so I ended up taking that deal. And at the time, well, it didn't really make sense, right? Because I was a lifer and 3 extra years with another strike. So, anyways, at the time, as I mentioned, I celled up right before finishing chemotherapy with a señor, Pili, right? He was an old timer from Southside King Cobras, and I got not one word to say negative about this individual. He was just a good man, for whatever. He was a lifer. He did his thing as a youngster. He knew Raul, and he was aware of Raul's grandkid through the grapevine, which you guys know by now. So, again, it was in the end of my chemo, so he stood, supported me when I struggled, got you right, because I went from being a workout person to not being able to do 10 push-ups, right? But I was so much into keeping the program that I used to call the routine out on the cages and on the tier, right? Even though afterwards I would bolt up with agony, right? But he used to try to give me clecha just on, there was no need for me to put myself out there knowing that it would have a backlash on me the way it was, right? And you know, just being honest, I was introduced to Jefita, to primas and egg things. I knew a lot about his personal life. It is why, youngsters pay attention, when you're inside. Do know it's a snake world, and even those you're cool with, they're always keeping tabs, right? Because it's how the game is played on the surroundings that's happening in your life. Again, this person was going through headaches, right? He was a lifer. He's been down a long, long time. And of course, his wife and him were having problems, and there was a back and forth through mail. And you guys know, you're in the shoe validated, they're screening your mail, right? So we're all aware of this, as I was aware of the back and forth, right? And but it was never nothing important. It was just things that on the natch, it just sticks to you because you're aware of what could happen, right, in the future, and they stick to you. But anyways, within time, the Pili went out to medical to do whatever, right? And they just got at me, like, hey, homie, shoot your linea so I could tie mine up, and you just pull. Read that, put an answer, and let me pull it back, right? So this was a Pili, from from KK, right? And in this appeal, he's asking me, or not asking me, but basically telling me that it starts off with, homie, all that little drag, we appreciate all this and then this and that, you're a lifer, and it's a mesa agreement that you know Teco is just taking space now. He's not bringing nothing to the mesa. All this drag on how they can't just be programming, right? They have to be bringing earnings, and it was jealousy. Bottom line was jealousy, because again, they were from different silos, but they still claim the same barrio, right? And me being a scandalous individual, right away I didn't have much time, so I just put Simon. But I needed the proper steps, right? Because I was aware of a couple of issues or a couple of incidents that happened like this, and no promises were ever made to me, right? But I knew in the other cases there were promises involved of them being made and XXX thing. And then it just fell down the drain because they believed in individuals' palabra, right? So just to be clear, they didn't they didn't take me out afterwards because again I had the proper clecha from R from Riverside and Deco here, right? And I waited for that Amapil when it was a Mesa thing, right? Daryl from Ontario, the old man from Watts was there at that time. Joker was there. There was at least 8 of them that had co-signed it, right? Also stating that it was okay from the Bay, right? So again, this was for me, right? So I had a security belt, right? So once they put that together, um, I just took action. And again, I do it proudly. It's just something I had to get done, right? And the program was everything, right? So without getting into details, I'll just say, I was aware of him stressing it sometimes and putting it on paper how if they would move forward like the way they were, he was gonna eventually take his life and on the house and you know. So again, we made some Bruno and I put some couple things up in there. Then you know home we just passed out and did what I had to do. I'll just say it like this, at the end of what I did, I continued drinking and till I passed out. For those that know how Corcoran's built, I passed out on the bunk in front of the cell and you just sitting there, right? And homeboy was up in the van, right? And the alarm and Judas woke me up in the morning and at the end of the day, they couldn't really pin it on me in no way, shape, or form because there was a history there, right? The only thing that came out of my mouth was, we drank and I passed out and, but for a while, I've been asking for forgiveness to their family, at least to the point where, so they do know, that, well, I'm not going to say for my benefit. I know once they forgive, they tend to let go, but, it's never been as so, right? It is why I'm stopping myself from getting into details because, the last time I heard from them was when I put it out in that other channel with details. They got at me like I'm not gonna say disrespectful because it was deserved, but they got at me in the sense that I was still speaking about it with pride, right? So how can I be saying something and doing something else, right? Which in reality they're right, and I don't wanna bring no more negativity towards them after they were so kind hearted to me and I am nobody to decide what I did, right? But again, I was blindsided and by my so-called loyalty, right? It is for this and other things that happened down the line is why I decided to name the channel that I named it, right? Which is Misled Loyalties. It was exactly what mine were, right? They were misled to believe I was doing something wrong, right? You guys gotta remember, I got busted when I was young, so I really, all I could think of as a lifer was a program, right? Which is ain't an excuse, I'm a scumbag and again, I played into what that world is, which is utilize all avenues you have to handle business and get away with things. It's never a man up situation, do things and man up for them. Nah, it's always hide from them. And anyways, this again ain't nothing I'm proud of. Just please do understand that, this is one of the things that literally still wakes me up at night, right? For the fact that he was my celly 8 months. I got pulled out to visit from family members. Just all the way around, this individual was a good person. All he was trying to do was get action at that board, right? So he was standing behind, allowing his brothers to do what they had to do, and he was just programming. But there's no such thing. They're always eating on each other. They know by them calling a move like this, it's a badge of honor, right? Even though there's supposed to be carnalismo there, but there ain't, If there's why not allow a member that to try to see the streets again, right? And turn in whatever he would had, turn it into another Billy, and they respect that and allow him to keep programming. But nah, it's always, he's taking space. He's not bringing. A good person can be in that cell, right? Which in reality, they took me out to court and DA could not prove anything. It was ruled, you guys know, a self-done thing, But classification CC is a whole different story. So they ended up shooting me up to Pelican Bay under walk alone, under suspicion for a murder, and that's how I ended up there. And again, for a long time, yeah, the mother and a prima used to get at me to try to tell her what was his last words, or those type of things but I never answer because I didn't have the words to answer. Because if they knew that I was that dirty of a person that I didn't even allow him to say any last words, or I didn't remember them due to how I was at that time, and when I try to reach out to them, they want to hear it, right? And they're in the right again. The only person in the wrong here is me. And again, I got adopted to the Pelican Bay, and I had done a deal with those that were co-siding on Artie's call, and it is why I believe, they allowed me to keep programming, because one of them was Daryl, and it was older vatos that, if they really had some type of sense, they were analyzing things that this Billy's getting removed from the program for his age, from wanting to kick it, after so long. But nah, it was exactly them the ones pressing on that, right? But again, it was just a power move from Artie. And since he was the main one there, all them were right there supporting him. And I got to the Bay and I had to answer up a lot because it was lies from all of them, not just Artie. I'm not gonna just pin this on Artie, it was from all of them. The Bay wasn't in agreement with it. But like the Pili said right when I got there, right, when he shot me a kite, which, it was Weddle, and he told me, we don't agree with this, but we understand that this is the shoe living time, and, you were just following orders, and you weren't doing it blindsided to a certain individual. you got here with. So just program and keep, but there ain't no special treatment or award for what you did. Nobody up here is in agreement with it. We can respect you following program, but well, you guys get it, right? It's something within time. As you guys know, a lot of them started falling out, and well, I'll get into my story better. Again, I was tiptoeing around this. I didn't really want to relive it again. You could say that, and not for myself. Believe me, I relive it constantly. It's I don't want nobody else to relive it when it comes to. But you guys know. So me agüitan. So I'm just gonna go ahead and end this video here. Just do pay attention, youngsters. When I come on here and tell you I speak about my experience, you know, it's because I only speak about my experience. I was that scandalous individual that was willing to uphold the program, whatever it costs, or that if you have been paying attention, that was willing to give his life for the program time and time and time again. On the spot, vámonos dispuesto. No hesitation ever. And at the end of the day, I got paid with the same coin, right? But it's nobody's fault but mine. Because I fooled myself. But again, that's why I really think it's important, not just my story, but there's countless of people out there with similar stories. And that's why I always say, be smart, stay true to yourself and loyal to your loved ones. God bless, buenas noches.